Hello YouTube, it is Damien, it is the Journeyman. We're here with Genk of course, and today we have our first ever European knockout stage game in the save. We have Lazio in the first knockout round here at Genk, and obviously it is a privileged position that we do find ourselves in. Since we last met, which was a transfer special, we will recap some results from the beginning and middle and the end of January. We have had a few league results to talk about, a few more wins, and we find ourselves top of the table by 6 points from standard in the league. On top of that as well, I have to say yet again, we're in a privileged position. We overtook a manager who had the squad purring, playing occasionally a 4-1-2-1-2 in a team that fits it, a team in very good group dynamics, which we've only built upon, and a team that is very good in terms of for its division. We also had a manager that had them sitting second in the league, and obviously the first competitive game you saw me play was a chance to top the group against Arsenal, where we weren't outshamed or anything like that, maybe slightly outclassed, but we did play quite well on that tie, and that gives me a lot of confidence to see what we can do here at the Olimpico here in Italy, first up against Lazio, but more importantly to see what we can do to them at home, and hopefully get through this group, get through this first knockout stage and see how deep we can go here in the Europa League. But since we last met, obviously there as well, we actually played Celta Bruges, who you guys did not see there. Absolutely affirmed in the first time we have dropped points, and the only time we have dropped points in the league since I've came in charge. XG 2.28, 21 shots, 7 on target. Apparently, we could not finish that day, and there you go as well. On top of that one there, we beat Beerschot 2-1. Semi-final first leg of the Belgian Cup, we got the team that's bottom, so that's why I'm not showing you it. We won 2-0. We then played them two weeks later with a full string side. That was my full rotated side. First time Joel Dekker played, by the way, he scored a goal. In his first league game that he played, he got an assist. So there you go, Joel Dekker. We won there. We beat Genk 3-1, which may have been a YouTube game. I played it this morning before work. Again, a bit off the pace. Historically, we do have some rivalry against Genk, but more important, Standard Liège. You'll definitely get to see those games that are a little bit more important of the league coming up. KV, obviously another one, we won 2-0 as well, and the team that we're playing in the semi-final, we pumped 6-0 with our full-strength side, so that's pretty good there as well. On top of that being said and done as well, in terms of the league, we are definitely going to get to the championship playoff group. I'm definitely tempted to not give you, if we stay in the Europa League after this episode, not give you a league game to win out of the Europa League, but then give you the league games in the championship group, because for those that may not know how it works, in the Pro League season, top 4 play in the championship group, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th playoff to play in a league to try and get a playoff against 4th to make a European spot. In that championship group, as you can see there, first wins the league and gets a group stage draw. Second actually goes straight into qualifying, where if they lose, they'll go straight into the Europa League. And then there's some Europa League playoff spaces, etc., that flow on from there. But that means that you play 6 games in that. And I think if we stay in the Europa League long enough, I'll just show you those 6 games, which means you play 34 in-season games, and then you play 6 games in whatever group you spawn off to. We should never be anywhere else but in that championship group. With that being said and done, the team itself looks pretty good, and there's nothing to write home about, apart from Kadinic still being injured, and Mateusz Franca's looking quite good and starting to develop, but hasn't been registered for this competition. But yeah, Kadinic still out injured, so Varane will go in, but Aziz has been in better form, so Aziz is going to be the one that goes in for your game here today. Apart from that, the rest of the team looks pretty good. Joel Dekker has been an amazing bit of form since joining us as well. So, your team on paper for our first ever knockout stage game in the save in Europe, and our first time in charge of a European knockout stage game for Genk, is as follows. It's Van der Voort in goals. It's Munoz, Sadik, Aziz, Arteaga. Odenek has been absolutely outstanding since joining, and he's starting to slowly develop as well, so get ready. Christian has been in outstanding form. Patrick's been pretty good. Owen's probably been the most disappointing out the lot, but sometimes you just go on runs where shadow strikers do nothing, and then you go on runs where they do everything. Guyan's been fantastic in the pressing forward role, and as soon as we switched Papapouli to the advanced forward over the pressing forward, he started scoring, even though he lacks speed and not my typical advanced forward. You can see why it works, because he's very good mentally and very good technically, and he's 6'7". It also means that if he's not having a good game, Joel Dekker can come on and run at tired defences, which I do love. Your bench is there. You're ready to go. I'm ready to go. We got Lazio in a big one. Let's just go and see how they've got here first before we go into it. Nesta obviously in charge. They currently sit 8th in the Serie A as well. Have only won against Cremonese. Have not won a league game since the 6th of January. They beat Atalanta. They just lost Italy in a cup quarter-final due to Fiorentina, Udinese, Sassuolo, Cagliari as well. They're in a bit of a form slump. And in terms of where they sit there, a couple points off a European spot as well. So maybe a very good time to get at them and see how we can go. But be interesting to see how their squad looks, and it's be interesting to see what it all looks like as well in terms of how they line up. Probably a 5 at the back, knowing Lazio and how Nesta generally plays on FM and in real life. There we go. We've obviously gone in and gave us the team talk, and with the opposition in there, I've got Thomas in goals. You've got Sestalo and that centre-back with Patrick. We'll see how these guys look, of course, as well. Obviously, Thomas is unreal. Sestalo, very good, Croatian international. Patrick at the back. Never played for Spain, but very well-rounded. The Serbian and Kamanovic looks not bad either. Probably can get at him a little bit. Adam Marusic, very good wing-back. They've got Cataldi in there as well, very good, and Diaz out there on the left-hand side. Milinkovic-Savic is obviously world-class and still here, which is not good for us. Nunes alongside him as well is very good, and then up top they've got Felipe Anderson, who looks very good there, to be fair to him, and Ciro Immobile, probably one of the best strikers still in world football there. They then got Joey Valadio. They got Heisa, who's very good, and I'm glad he's not starting. Luca Romero should probably be getting into that side too. Matea, very, very decent as well. Mikel, very well-rounded. Wish Ashibi was playing just because of the lack of speed, but obviously a very good backup and very good mentally and technically. And then Fabio is a youth prospect that's not particularly good. I would say on paper they have a better team and they have a better bench, but with their poor form, if we can get this back to Belgium, knowing how well our 4-1-2-1-2 can attack, if we're still in the game, it'll be okay. Not right now, Mum. There we go. That's fine. Lazio going to be in the blue and Genk in the whites. Obviously telling Mum that don't worry, I'll come get my food in a second because it is dinner time here. But we push through, even through starvation. We will try and beat Lazio here away at the Olimpico. There we are, Olimpico. I'm Italian, I should know. This is rhyming too much. Hey ho. That was horrid. Anyhow, early injury to Felipe Anderson, and he's been replaced straight away. And we will go and press Immobile. First highlight here. Diaz now picks that one up there. Looks over the top for Nunes. In the end, will be Sadalec's tackle. Somehow it doesn't play the keeper, and the tackle falls to Marusic. Typical big game, big team mentality, even though Lazio aren't the bigger team. You see that happen a lot when you're playing against bigger sides like Dortmund or whatever. Tackles just fall to him. Very annoying that that's how that highlight has started, because that really should have been our ball. Anyway, Diaz now down this left-hand side of theirs. And Cataldi, Milinkovic-Savic as well. Very well worked here from Lazio since the ball's fall to him, moving us side to side. A good press from us, though. Can we step in and win it now? Haven't given him too much room. Over the top, Immobile won't miss that. He has. Wow. The world-class Immobile gets half a yard, and he usually scores them, so we'll be very glad that he's missed there. An even start, though, to this tie. And Sadalek picks a ball up, and it falls to Munoz. And Munoz now can go. And he finds Sadalek, and can he find Odaneka? Great ball to Munoz, who's got time and space to have a little bit of a run. And he finds Christian. Athena turns, finds Patrick. Papapouli holds up. Patrick now looking for numbers. Owen's quick and away. Numbers getting in the box now. Can we get a good ball in the box with Ortega? Finds Owen. Goes for goal and finishes absolutely delightfully. They're checking for offside. It all depends if Owen came back from an offside position. I think this one counts. I think this is a goal personally. And I reckon we're 1-0 up here. What a finish it was. And the goal has been given. Owen has not been in the greatest of form. But what a finish from the wonder kid, Luca Owen. Ortega gave it back to him. He gets onside. He's onside by a mile. Keeper looking for the cutback. Instead, Owen has absolutely thumped it into the back of the net. And I'm probably saying this for Thomas's safety there, the international goalkeeper in net. He probably didn't want a hand on that because it would have broke it. In the end, we are 1-0 to the good. Cataldi from distance hits one. Well, wasn't far, was hit with venom, but past the outside of the post. And there we go. We lead 1-0 in the Europa League first knockout round. We got a 1-0 lead. Important to note, there is no away goals in Europe. That obviously has stopped from as of this year, so that's fine. Not this year in games, and this year in real life. But yeah, Kamanovic, Nunez, ball over to Diaz, heads, and Mobile can hold that up, and he does. Diaz now, and Mobile getting half a yard yet again, ball in, that should be a goal. Hit the post, we're live to fight another day, and the outball finds Papapouli, who should be able to hold that up, and that should be the highlight here, Football Manager. Apparently it's not, it is now. There we go. Even game, this one, but we've got the 1-0 lead. We would love to get in at half-time here at the moment, but another highlight here for Sotalo, all the way back there to Strakosa and into Diaz, who finds Nunez, and he can go down with it, and that finds Immobile. He's been everywhere, Immobile. He's been absolutely out of this world. We can't deal with him at the minute. Headed by Savic. It's 1-0. It's 1-0, sorry. And look, Immobile, an integral part of the build-up. Savic, the world-class midfielder heading home, and the two world-class players Lazio have had a say in this tie, as they probably should do, and it is 1-1. In the end, good ball in from Diaz. We don't track the deeper run of Savic, and by the time we tried to get there, it was all too late, and there's nothing that I expect Van der Voort, as good as he is, to do. In the end, it's 1-1 here, and our best player at the back, Sadalek's having an absolute stinker in a booking. Tempted to take him off, but not just yet. We'll get a little bit aggressive with the lads to just try and get them to gear up a little bit more as well. I expect with them playing 5 at the back that I don't expect to win the possession battle, but for us to break with regularity, and it hasn't really happened. Long throw should be ours. Somehow against 3 of us, we've let it fall to them. I'm just going to put it out here. I don't think today's our day. Today's a day, can we get it back home? Because I think we're in trouble. Headed and just over the bar. We just have not been good enough. We've lacked no control, no nothing. I haven't really trained a 4-3-3, but this game is kind of screaming out for a bit of 4-3-3 magic, I reckon, as well. Time gets there to the 69th minute. Guyan's on a booking and not had a particularly good one. Papapouli's going to get in there, but I'm actually going to get him in there as a bit of a target man on attack and try and get him to link up play a little bit more. And Joel Dekker is going to come in as the advanced forward. I also think Satterlake has not had a particularly good game on a booking too, and he's important to keep. So Ran, I'm going to give a lot of, hey, you've been having a good year in the league. I'm going to trust you. A lot of trust is what he's going to get, and we're going to make a double change. It takes balls to take off your best centre-back in a big tie, but I feel like we need to because Immobile is giving him the runaround. Time ticks away. Obaneka flicks. Joel Dekker now in his first ever game in Europe, the Australian. Artega. Can we build up? Obaneka. Owen now. Papapouli. Dekker's quick. And he finds Christian, who hits, and it's blocked. What a moment. Fools of Manoz now. Can we find something in the box here? Cuts it back to Christian. Top of the box is Obaneka. Does he want to have a dig? He doesn't. Artega now. Can he find a way to get through down the line? Stops, probs, gets there, cuts it, back stick, no Papapouli in sight. The 6'7" Pouli and Nucci really could get onto that. Still highlight going Christian, back stick, Peter through the keeper and in. Well, it's Patrick, I should say, it's not Peter. I've got half a feeling this one might be offside. It is offside. Ouchie, wowers. Oh, it would have been nice in a very tight game to take a 2-1 lead there. In the end, Christian does well. Good ball in, but Patrick just went just a fraction early and couldn't pull his run back, and it is 1-1. Time ticks away. Our midfield is dead. I'm going to take Patrick off here. Get Christian out there in the Mazzala. His name is Abigail, who's got a little bit more experience to come in as the box-to-box for the last few moments here. Time ticks away. No late highlight. Look, I'm taking a 1-1 draw every day here in Italy. It's been a very even game on paper. Similar pass completion, same possession. We had one less shot. That we had 2 more on target though. XG, very similar. That is as even as a game you're going to see. And mercifully put, it finished 1-1. It wasn't an Immobile, double out of nowhere or everything like that. So in the end, I think we're the happier of the 2 supporters. And with that being said and done, I look forward to the second leg there in Belgium. All to play for. We know if we win on the night, we're through. We draw on the night, it's extra time. And if we lose on the night, it is unfortunately despair. But I'll see you guys in a second. Don't go anywhere. It's the home leg versus Lazio and a shot to make the second knockout stage of the Europa League. Welcome back, YouTube. We are here for the second leg of the first knockout stage. We are back in Belgium. We're back at the Dekker Arena. Dekker? Yeah, I'm going with that. And we obviously take a lead. Since we last met, I beat Union 4-0 with a rotated squad. Guyan did play in that one because he's my first point of call. He is out suspended today, so we're going to have to make a change there as well. But for us, we've got Patrick suspended, who started last game out. Shatalo suspended, who also started last time out. And Philippe Anderson's out with that groin strain, which is great for us as well. Obviously, I don't wish injuries and whatnot to the opposition players, but I'm quite happy that obviously we don't have to deal with them. Now, with that being said as well, we do have Franca that needs to come out this team too. Godas has been in scoring form, and this guy, he doesn't have the best potential, but as a shadow striker, he is very, 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 very handy. So the 18-year-old's going straight in, no dramas at all. He's going into the bench. Guyan's coming out for Joel Dekker, and that is going to create room for Ruan to come in for Katanich. And that's who I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with Aziz. I'm going to start with Aziz yet again, I think. Over Ruan. Or do I go Ruan? Let's go Ruan. We're going to go Ruan today. And then with that being said and done, with the guys on the bench as well, I'm going to go with Van der Perry. Nah, we're going to go with Big Ken on the bench if we just need to make another change. Now, the only thing I am going to do as well is I'm going to move Papapoli into the pressing forward and use Joel Dekker's speed as the advanced forward. But apart from that, it's a similar side that what played in Italy. Manoz plays with Van der Voort, obviously in goal. Adelaide keeps his spot. Moran comes in, Ortega. Odenek has been in great form. Obviously, Patrick and Christian have been great. Owen scored a wonder strike, has to be said, in the first leg. And then obviously Papapoli, we entrust in him. And Joel Dekker has been in good form. He's been accustoming himself to Belgium and our sort of football. He knows already. So, look, I'm very happy with Joel Dekker. And let's see how he goes here in a European start. The fact that we brought it back to Belgium level, I'm happy. Now, let's see how their team's lining up because they have made a few changes. I wonder if they're still going to go 5 at the back or they're going to change themselves. I think they'll stay, and they have. This is so nice. Acebe's come out, and, with that lack of pace and acceleration, hopefully then Joel Dekker can find a way to pin himself on him. If not, get at Nicolo Armini, who's the other one who's not particularly the greatest, and obviously a bit more of a backup as well. Pedro's come up top as well for them, the 36-year-old Pedro. It's always nice to see him. And also Berto now partnering Milinkovic Savic through the middle as well. So a few changes there, Adam starting and Heisa starting on the other side makes a lot of sense. That one there as well. Bit in to see. I think because they're missing a few big players, we have to be favourites. It's a big match, you're right. I'm sure he's fresh for the future. We're in a great place. Look, Aziz just doesn't start because out of the 3 centre-backs that are available to Katanich's back, he's been the one that's most legless. He's played so many minutes compared to Ruan. They'll prefer to have the freshness of Ruan, who's been also playing quite well. Now, Lazio did get a win in the last game in the league, which is important for them to wrestle back some momentum. But we're in the blue, they're in the black. We're at home. I think we have enough about ourselves at home to beat them, even though they're a very good squad. Anyway, Manoz throws, looking for Papapoli, gets a tackle in there, but it falls to Immobile, Acebe, and Gabbia. And Acebe goes all the way back there to Strakosa, as well, Thomas. He looks there as well out there to Marusic. Nicolo Armini. Dekker goes with getting across. That's fine. Marusic yet again. Armini now. Ball over the top to Milinkovic Savic. It was unbelievable. And Savic has a moment. And in the end, he's hit the outside of the netting and wide. And it could have been 1-1. It could have been 1-0 and 2-1 Lazio. Instead, it's Ortega now. Can he get a ball in there? Papapoli backstick. Floats it, but nowhere near him either. In the end, it falls to Sadalek, and he finds Odenenka straight away. Ball to Patrick. Owen dropping in. Odenenka and Christian with good through building out. Look at that press, though. Very good press from them. In the end, Christian falls to Odenenka. Lucky. Papapoli presents. Over the top. Manoz, great touch. He's inside. He drives, and he's hit the outside of the post and out for a throw-in. Wow. Thomas had no idea what happened there. The Lazio keeper, who stood absolutely rooted to the spot. And in the end, both sides have had big couple of moments here early on, but it's still 0-0. Acebe now finds Heisa. Pedro, he looks for it. Doesn't find anything there. Immobile. Looks for Gabba. Back to Recibe. Over the top looking for Immobile. Keeper came. Van der Voort beat. Whipped in back stick. Savic needs to put it on target, and he does. Mistake from Van der Voort. It's not often you see a goalkeeper mistake of that epic proportion. He was never getting there, and there was no need to come. Instead, he came, he didn't get there, and Immobile's done the right thing, and now we need to score if we want to go through to the second knockout stage. He came, he got nowhere near it. Great ball in, and as soon as that happened, Savic just had to head it on target. And in the end, it is 1-0 Lazio with their first shot on target. We've not been particularly great. Expected to be a little bit more dominant, and we haven't been. But 1-0 down. We need a goal. At the moment, nothing coming as it stands. Heisa froze, Luis Alberto, Immobile. A second now for Lazio would probably be good night, Jack, because I expected us to be a little bit more dominant at home. We're not. Alberto's ball finds Savic again. He's been absolutely immense for Lazio home and away so far. And Marusic. I don't like saying injured players, but if someone wants to double foot him and just get him off the park, probably is what's needed. Dekker nearly does that as well. Amini goes all the way back there. And I just don't like... I think Papapourli's not the right fit for this game. I might actually make the change here and get the bit more speed of Dekker in the pressing forward. Now, main reason for that is hopefully he matches up a bit more closer to Recibe, and then we can obviously get a goal through that as well. A bit more on the press there too. Onward now. Papapourli. Joel Dekker makes a run. Was ignored. Poorly now. Imagine if we're about to make that change and then we score. Joel Dekker. Great ball, Artega. Numbers queuing back stick. One of them, Papapourli. Owen's there, though. And Luca Owen scores. It's 1-1. We have scored. I am still going to make that change. I think the press needs to be initiated from Dekker's enthusiasm and ability physically, where if Poorli can just get in and around the box with his height as the advanced forward, that's fine. I do think there's games where Poorli's very good as a pressing forward, Papapourli, but just for what I've seen 33 minutes in, it hasn't clicked yet. We're lucky to get back at level pegging here. It's 1-0 on the Knights, 2-2 on aggregate, and as it stands, we're heading to extra time. Right on half-time, is there a moment for either side? There isn't, and it's 1-1. I'm happy is what I'm going to say. I want them to keep understanding and believing. You know, for us, it's all about the growth. We haven't even been here long enough to really think about this, but, you know, it is what it is. Pedro might hit, and he does. Van der Voort, what a save. Made a mistake for the first goal, but he maybe has just kept us in it here. Great save as that one arrow top in from the legendary Pedro. Luis Alberto back stick. Dekker flicks away. And this game is on a knife edge. And how do we change it? I'm not too sure. Time ticking away here. 60 minutes played. Christian's not his best game. Patrick's having not a bad one. Pedro's come off there as well. I'm going to make a change. Poorli is one of our better goal scorers. Christian could go as a pressing forward, and he's a bit more physical in that sense. It's not too much physical, actually. I'll take that back. Patrick's having a good game, but he's on a booking. I think we're going to go with Abigail to come in as the box-to-box. Patrick is looking gassed, and that's what we'll do. And with Christian in the Mazzala with that natural creativity that he has. Been slightly the better side. Second half's been a lot better from us, but it hasn't really come. But it's a corner now. It's Artega. It's back stick, or it's front stick. It doesn't find anyone. And Artega will pick that one back up. Numbers queuing. Christian now. He can create. Artega, can he get space? He does. Gets to the byline. Whips it straight into the keeper's hand. Poor ball. Once he's there, he's got to really find a target or far enough to make them clear it. Get it away from the keeper. They go long. Ruan heads. Artega will not get on that. We've been better this second half, but if this could be the moment. Immobile sniffing her in and around the box, which you don't want. Savic is there too. Artega doesn't get on it. Savic, good from Christian. Artega does well. Poor clearance, had so much more time, and just handed Diaz back the ball. Oh, this is not a good highlight for us at all. Now it might be, though. Papapourli, Owen, Dekker's made the run. Dekker's quick. Dekker's away. It's Joel Dekker. Of course it's Joel Dekker. There's no way he's offside. There is no way Joel Dekker's offside. It's been given. The Australian has scored in his first start in the Europa League. He came off the bench last time, but in his first proper start, arcs his run, gets there, and absolutely blasts it into the back of the net. And Joel Dekker puts us into the lead, and we are 15 minutes away from the second knockout stage. Great timing of the run. He made that little zig which kept him onside. Had him all for speed, and in the end, no one could catch him. And it's Joel Dekker from Adelaide that has scored yet again. Van der Voort and Sadilek. I expect Lazio to come at us. Now it's just about if we can deal with it. Van der Voort looking for Papa Paulie. This is why I love him out there, 6'7". Surprisingly, he did not flick it on or win it. Over the top, Moran wins. Owen now. Christian looking for Dekker again. He's there again. Joel Dekker! He's a GOAT. He's legitimately a GOAT. Has a brace. Does this kid know pressure? He obviously doesn't, because with the weight of Genk supporters on his back, he has turned it on in his last 5 minutes and has got a brace and has single-handedly sent us through to the second stage of the Europa League. Joel Dekker, what a human being. We're going to make a change here. Christian's going to come off and Peter's going to get a taste of European football. Quite a lot of the boys are dead at the back as well. I'm going to bring Penna for Manoz, who's had a really good time at Penna as well. Of course, we're live on stream. Links down below. Come follow us live on Twitch. Joel Dekker. What a human being. It doesn't matter what happens from this highlight. We are through. Even if they scored. It's headed away. Only as far as Heiser. There's no time on the clock. Over the top. Penna, Immobile. He looked offside, to be quite fair. I thought he was offside. Doesn't matter if it counts or not. Apparently he was onside. All right, we need to make sure we don't concede now from kickoff. And we're home. Looked offside by a mile. Can we get the lines? I'm guessing that Satellite's dropped off massively, but because he's offside this whole time, that is so tight. I thought he was off. I still think he's off. Doesn't matter, we win. That's fine. We win 4-3. Lazio on the night got absolutely destroyed second half. First half, very even. Second half, all us. And we deserve to win that one. The fact they've got a second is an absolute travesty. But it all boils down to one man, one beautiful man. The man from Australia, Mr. Joel Dekker. He came in, he used his speed late. That's why I love him off the bench. But he kept it in the tank. And come push, come to shove in the last 15 minutes with the tie on the line. We are through. Lazio are not. And we can go hug the El Phenomenal Australian, that is Joel Dekker. It's a bit of a phenomenon, that little kid. Who would have thought a guy from Adelaide, where I'm from, and gender Adelaide United, is doing it in the Europa League already in the save. It's so nice. It's nice when you get these stories. But there we are. We're through to the next stage. Now, I believe the knockout draw is actually tomorrow, so we're actually going to stay live with this YouTube as well. It's a brilliant feeling. Mate, yeah, I wouldn't swap with anyone, not even Lewandowski. Yeah, that's fine. No dramas at all. Apparently, VAR. That's fine. No dramas. All right. The draw here. Aaron Bill and Riley McGree could never, but Joel Dekker just did. The chat's loving it. If you are ever wanting to catch us live, the links are down below to interact. And on top of that all, we obviously do go live quite a fair bit. They reckon Sebastian Cordova is coming in. I understand it, but we don't play with a winger, so he could play in the hole, but no. It's not a top target for me. I understand why if we played a 4-3-3, but we don't. All right. Knockout round, second draw today. Let's have a look at some of the teams that are in the knockout stage. We have Man United, Spurs, Napoli, Roma, Arsenal, Bayer Leverkusen, Villarreal, who are the Europa League GOATs, Benfica, who we would not mind, Volkswagen, Wolfsburg, Olympiacos, ourselves, Mönchengladbach, Leicester are here, Real San Sebastian, Anderlecht are still here, so 2 Belgium clubs through, well done to Anderlecht, and Lille. If we're probably wanting to go through, we want Anderlecht, don't we? Them or Olympiacos, I think, are the 2 teams. If we got Benfica, we would not have mind. Leicester, Real San Sebastian, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Wolfsburg, you're probably going And then you really don't want Villarreal, Arsenal, Napoli, United, Spurs, or Roma. Leverkusen, probably one of those sides as well. Who do you think we're getting here, Twitch chat? And if you're in the YouTube comment section, you're watching, timestamp this right now, and let me know who do you think we're going to get there as well. I think we're going to get Spurs, personally, but we'll welcome that challenge as well. Dim reckons Leverkusen or Benfica. Well, let's go out. Benfica gets Bayer 04. So Benfica's out, and Leverkusen's out. So Dim's wrong, straight off the bat. First tie, both of his predictions, Gonski. Leicester's Leicester, and they get Roma. Genk, all out we come. There's a few good sides and a few bad sides, and we get Real San Sebastian. So we get Real Sociedad in the next round of the Europa League. Olympiacos get Napoli. Villarreal and Arsenal's a pretty big tie as Emery's homecoming if he's still there. It's not. Okay, Emery's apparently moved. That would have been a fun story. Gladbach get United. Wolfsburg and Lille. That's actually not a bad tie if you get through to look the target. And Anderlecht, poor old Anderlecht, running the Spurs. Well, there you go. It is Real San Sebastian. The first game will be at home. And we take on a big team from Spain. And that is going to be your next episode. We've got him there. And then there's some World Cup qualifying and whatnot going on. So we'll just have a look here when this is. But yeah, the first round and the second knockout round has been played here. So we're going to get this one here as well. We've got, obviously, a few games to play in the league. I know we've got standard coming up, but look at the league table. We should be topping this on the run home to that championship group. And with that being said, your next episode will be Real San Sebastian, home and away, and see if we can make it through to the quarter-final of the Europa League. Till then, give it a like, go subscribe, give it a like for Joel Dekker because he's an absolute freak and a goat, and we love him. And he's from Adelaide, which we love as well. But from Damo and everybody else here, I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.